Yo, Disco.
Yo.
Did you see that email that Joe sent on WWE and gambling?
Yes.
Do you want to talk about that real quick?
We can.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about that real quick. Can you read some of it, or Joe read some of it, so people have some context?
Yeah, I got it. I got it right here.
Good.
So this was up on CNBC's website. The headlines: WB in talks with state gambling regulators to legalize betting on scripted match results. And it says WB's in talks with state gambling regulators in Colorado and Michigan to legalize betting on high-profile matches, according to people familiar with the matter. They're working with the accounting firm EY to secure scripted match results in hopes it will convince regulators there's no chance of results leaking to the public, said the people who asked not to be named because the discussions are private. The accounting firm, known as Ernst & Young, has historically worked with award shows, including the Academy Awards and the Emmys, to keep the results a secret. Betting on the Academy Awards is already legal and available through some sports betting apps, including market leaders FanDuel and DraftKings, although most states don't allow it. WWE executives have cited the Oscars betting as a template to convince regulators gambling on scripted matches is safe. WWE spokesperson declined to comment. Gambling regulators in Michigan and Colorado didn't immediately respond to a request either. So it also says allowing gambling on certain WWE matches would alter how matches are produced and how storylines are created. In discussions about how gambling on wrestling could work, WWE executives have proposed that scripted results of matches be locked in months ahead of time. According to people familiar with the matter, the wrestlers themselves wouldn't know whether they were winning or losing until shortly before a match takes place.
I question the whoever wrote this. What's the guy's name that wrote this?
His name is Alex Sherman.
Okay, I would suggest that Alex Sherman doesn't really have a hands-on source in the WWE on this, because there's no way that they're going to lock in results for matches months ahead of time. This guy's just completely ignorant in how this process works. They already do gambling on WWE events overseas in the UK, so you don't have to change anything. Like you don't have to change the price. You just don't. You maybe just don't let it. You tell the people involved, hey, don't tell anybody the finish is the only safeguard you can have against it, because of the agent, the writers, and the two performers are going to know the finish. Okay, so and they're going to have to know the finish hours ahead of time. That's how this works. I mean, so they already have done this before. So this guy talked about, to get another company to lock in the results. That process that they're talking about, that does not exist in reality. Like, they're not going to have match results locked away under lock and key months ahead of time where nobody knows what's happening. You can't lock away a person's brain. If Triple H knows that Austin Theory is going to beat John Cena, you don't write it down and put it in and then lock it in a lockbox.
Mm-hmm.
You have it right here. You know he's going to beat him in WrestleMania. That's not. I don't know. This guy sounds like he doesn't know anything about how the process of WWE works. And maybe he talked to one person and probably is still confused about what they're saying. So I don't. This is kind of a weird. They used to do this years ago. There was a sports betting site called The Greek, and you could bet up to $50 on a script on wrestling matches, but the max bet was $50. Right, so I'm sure that'll be.
There was others like Ford Dimes, and I think my bookie took them maybe.
Right, but the only time people bet thousands of dollars on these.
No, but
there's too much corruption.
And I haven't looked in a while, but back then the only time I saw a favorite not win, because and the odds aren't never really that long. The only time I ever saw it happen was Triple H versus Sting years ago. And Sting was a heavy favorite, and I thought, well, that's just not going to happen, And right. I think Hunter was like plus 650 or 700. And I won on $100 bet when Triple H beat him.
Right.
But most of the time, when you look at the odds now, they're correct. It's almost like spoilers.
Right. What do you think, Tony?
Yeah, how it's impossible to enforce that, bro. Because if you're going to tell the talent hours before his match, what's going to stop him from 3 hours before the match, him not placing a bet on who's going to win? Or telling somebody.
Tell your friend. Yeah.
And even if you were to put them, let's say, in a room, like an hour before their match, like, okay, put your match together, and an hour before, we're going to put you in a room and you can figure out the finish. Even if you did that, by the time they went through the room to the gorilla position, because you know how the boys are, he'd give somebody a thumbs up saying he's going over or whatever. I mean, it's just not enforceable.
And in a business full of workers, these people are going to look at the people involved are going to look at the odds and maybe adjust their booking based on the odds. Like if they see a person like a 7-1 favorite, they just may say, let's screw it. Let's just have the other guy.
Yeah, it's still ripe for abuse and corruption and everything else. I can't believe that they'd even do it. Like they
do it.
I know. I can't believe they even do it right now.
Yeah, it's just that it's
what's
not,
stopping everybody. It's almost like the senators who get stock tips and they go and what's stopping the writer, their friends, the wrestlers, their friends, and anybody else to getting in on this.
Maybe because it's just not a lot of people. Like in the big picture, you have thousands of people gambling, right?
Right.
Just a handful of people know the results beforehand. Right. What does it really matter?
Still, they shouldn't be. Yeah. They shouldn't be. Profiting off of that. But anyways, so I just wanted to bring that up because I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, interesting. Very good point.
Yo, what up? This is Konnan, and I host Keeping It 100. My co-host, Disco Inferno, unfortunately.
Well, I'd say you're my co-host.
Listen, every Thursday here on Spreaker, we talk pro wrestling, sports, movies, music, TV, pop culture, and some politics. It's everything the rest of the pro wrestling podcasts are not.
Tune in to hear myself, the superior one, educate and inform.
Tune in to hear me bury Disco.
That's very disrespectful.
Join us every Thursday on Spreaker and keep it 100. Boom!